the founder and medical director of Integrated Health Center of Maryland, Dr. Stephen Wander.
Did you know that if we weighed all of the ants on Earth, it would weigh more than all of the humans on Earth? Did you know that we share chromosomes, 50% of our chromosomes with a banana? Good morning. Buenos dias. My name's Dr. Stephen Wander, not like the singer Stevie Wonder. I promise not to sing any Motown here this morning. This is my third time speaking here. I'm honored to be invited again. When I was 13 years old, I went out to lunch with my grandparents. My grandparents are from Brooklyn, so sometimes the conversation had a bunch of 3 and 4 and 6-letter words that would make a movie R-rated. Matter of fact, the first time I spoke here, my grandfather, I told him I was speaking here and I was expecting a little bit of a pat on the back, and he said, I guess the standards up there are getting a little bit lower. They'll let anybody in there now. But at that lunch, my grandmother, the first thing she did is she put out 13 pills. And I was like, what are all those pills for? And she said in her Brooklyn accent, well, baby, the first one's for my thyroid, second one's for my pressure, third one's for my cholesterol, fourth one's for the side effects of number 1, and so on. And I was like, that does not make sense. And that was my first experience with thyroid issues. I've been seeing patients for 21 years, and the story that I'm told is this, and it's never changed. Start having some symptoms, whether it be inability to lose weight despite good diet and exercise, hair thinning, falling out, can't go to the bathroom, extreme life-crushing fatigue, can't fall asleep, can't stay asleep, and even when you do sleep, when you wake up, you're still tired. That's called wired and tired. Moody, no sex drive. So eventually, you're like, I got to get this checked out. So do you go to your doctor? That's what you should do. They run some blood work. And then you get a call 2-3 days later from the office, and they say, Mrs. Jones, the doctor needs to see you. And you can tell by the tone of the voice on the other end of the line, something is not good. So you go in, you make a 9 o'clock appointment. 9:15, you're done filling out your paperwork. By 9:30, you've read all the magazines in the office, Good Housekeeping, Sports Illustrated, People. You know who the best dressed is, the worst dressed, who's getting married, who's getting divorced. But eventually, by about 11:30, you get in there. By the way, what do they call the person who graduates last in medical school? Even that doctor's like, I don't know, that kind of sounds like a thyroid problem to me. The doctor comes in and says, Mrs. Jones, we ran your blood work. You have something called primary hypothyroidism. Here, take this. And this is a drug that begins with S, ends with D, and sounds a whole lot like what? Exactly. And now you've started your trek into what I call the pill for an ill model. What's the pill for an ill model? Mrs. Jones, you have this pill. Here, you have this ill, take this pill, I'll see you in 3 months. I call that sick care. That's not health care, that's sick care. We don't have health care in the United States. Did you know that 90% on the low end and 97% on the high end of people diagnosed with a thyroid issue don't have a thyroid issue? They have, and if you have the wrong diagnosis, how in the hell are you going to get the right treatment plan? And if you're lucky enough to get the right diagnosis, the majority of you, the treatment plan doesn't change. It makes no sense. What do you have? Typically, you have an autoimmune disease which attacks the thyroid. It's called Hashimoto's. Now you're all fluent in Japanese. 75% of people who get a diagnosed autoimmune disease will get another autoimmune disease. Ulcerative colitis, eczema, psoriasis, multiple sclerosis, Raynaud's syndrome, etc. So, Dr. Smarty Pants, what's the treatment? Well, a couple months ago, I spoke at Coca-Cola, and we all saw the vault they had with the recipe. That's a secret. And everybody wonders, is there some secret treatment plan for an autoimmune disease? No, there's no secret treatment plan. You must find all the triggers which cause your symptoms. What kind of triggers do you look for and what kind of testing? You could have leaky gut, you could have fatty liver, and which liver enzymes. You could have adrenal fatigue. You could have biotoxins, mold, cadmium, lead, mercury. You need to find all the triggers for a person and then from the ground up, build a treatment plan that's customized for that specific person. That's the only way to do it. But when you do that, then what happens? Then your prescribing physician starts the process of reducing and eliminating your medications, lose weight without exercise, sex drive comes back, marriage gets better, and so on. Last year, Goldman Sachs said we're taking the majority of our investments and we're putting it into the pharmaceutical industry. They said this is the best business ever. Person starts with the medication, they need more and more, they need it for the rest of their life. It's better than the mafia. What's also great about being in practice so long and now is you can treat patients virtually. We have 5 patients in Nepal, and no, they don't know each other. And I'm embarrassed to say that if we had a map, I wouldn't be able to point out where Nepal is. So you have a choice. The choice is, do you want to treat the smoke or do you want to treat the fire?